It's not every day that a reporter gets an invitation to the house that Joe Colombo built.
I have always maintained and said there is no mafia.
That was Joe Colombo's constant refrain when he founded the Italian-American Civil Rights League in 1970. The feds called him the boss of the Colombo crime family, which is still one of the 5 major organized crime families in New York. In 1971, Colombo was gunned down during an Italian Pride March at Columbus Circle. He spent his last 7 years bedridden in this house, right down the street from Blooming Grove Town Hall. This is now the home of Chris Colombo, Joe Colombo's youngest son. Thanks. He sat down last month to talk with us about some of his own trials and tribulations with the feds. Talk a little bit about the real Chris Colombo as opposed to the guy who has become kind of a mythical figure.
You know, I have a name, I'm a larger-than-life character, and like I told you before, I mean, if you were in the forest and you were a hunter, would you shoot the 10-point buck or the 3-point buck? They perceived me to be a 10-point buck, even though I was just running and just developing my antlers.
In March 2004, Chris, his older brother Anthony, and 28 others were indicted on charges that they ran an offshoot of the family business called the Colombo Brothers Crew. Chris was facing the prospect of spending the rest of his life in federal prison.
The road was hard, it was tough. I was perceived as somebody I wasn't. I fought hard to eliminate that. One of the hardest things I fought to prove that I wasn't dangerous.
What the jury agreed on was that Colombo was a gambler, not a mob boss. This verdict last month, does this represent a whole new chapter of your life? Do you see yourself getting into some other areas and leaving the world of gambling behind and starting fresh in some way?
I'm doing some clothes designing with a good friend of mine, Salvatore, and I'm more towards the creative end now.
He's going to tell Corleone you're an old friend of his from the old neighborhood.
Colombo's already shown the world his creative talents. He's played a hot-tempered mob boss named Don John Testosterone in a friend's thesis film. And while he was under federal house arrest recently, he played himself in an HBO docu-comedy called, you guessed it, House Arrest with Chris Colombo.
It's my ankle bracelet. It comes everywhere with me. There's a sensor on it. If I take it off, if I bang it. I have a hell of a sense of humor. And I think that developed because when people used to first meet me, they'd see the size and the name, and it would put them at ease to see that I had a sense of humor. And, the gift of laughter is kind of like medicine for the soul. Life is great.
Unencumbered by a federal monitoring bracelet, he loves to walk around and play with a miniature palomino named Pony and keep tabs on the mini ecosystem he's built in his backyard.
I have every fish that's indigenous to the Orange County area. I got mussels, crayfish.
Calamar?
No, I don't need any of this stuff. It's an ecosystem. Everything exists amongst itself happy. It's sad that what I had to endure in that process to get
Because there was a hung jury on some of the racketeering counts in their trial, Chris and his brother Anthony have to go back to court on April 10th to find out if the feds will put them on trial again. So far, the feds aren't saying what they'll do.
I get up every day with good intentions. Happy, hoping for the best.
He says he's just like any other kid from Brooklyn who left the hot streets of the big city for the cool, green, small-town suburbs of Orange County. In Blooming Grove, Oliver Maxson, recordonline.com.